in today's scripture passage, which comes from Luke's Gospel, the 11th chapter. What we find is Christ has decided to dine with a Pharisee, opening the door for all people to be able to be a part of his kingdom. And well, while he is there and eating, the Pharisee does not say a word, but we know what the Pharisee is thinking because of Christ's response to his very thought. And what he says is, "Oh, you fools, you're worrying so much about that I did not wash before we ate. And you are not worried about the inside of the vessel. We have to clean the inside of who we are. And if we clean the inside of who we are, then whatever we take from that will be cleansed. When you only clean the outside, the ugliness and the evil remains on the inside. We must clean all of ourselves. In fact, we are to clean from the inside out. Because once we clean the inside, the outside becomes this beautiful tapestry, this beautiful dish. If we only clean the outside of who we are, worried about what other people think, worried about what other people say, holding ourselves up so others can see the good deeds that we do, and we don't do it with love, if we don't do it with a feeling of serving God, they're only serving ourselves. You see, we cannot fall into the folly of the Pharisees by exhibiting all that we do. Our work is on the inside. And once we have worked and are working on the inside of who we are, our very thoughts, the lessening of anger, the decision to forgive, the decision to forgive ourselves for long past injuries, when we decide to forgive others for long ago pains and hurts, when we decide to love absolutely every single person, no matter who they are or where they are, because we know to whom every single person belongs. When we are able to begin that walk towards the love of one another is the moment we begin to do what Christ is calling us to do. That is to cleanse ourselves from the inside out. You know, our first reading for today, this Tuesday, it comes from the first chapter of Romans, says, "Do not be ashamed of the gospel." We can't be afraid of the truth. The truth is, we are all in one state or another of transformation, of confirmation, of transcendence, of becoming what God has called us to be. Our destination is the journey itself, the journey to Christ. The cleansing part of who we are, as Christ has taught us today, is to begin to cleanse who we are, to recognize there is no room for anger, there's no room for hate, there's no room for discrimination towards anyone, that our lives are to be completely open to love. One warning: love often hurts, but love is worth the hurt, rather than discriminating or standing away from or being angry towards. That doesn't protect us. Love protects us and finds within us a place that we can hold on to what God is calling us to become. So going to church on Sunday is good. The Eucharist, this year of the Eucharist, is absolutely perfect. But the next step in glorifying and recognizing the great gift of the Eucharist is, what does the Eucharist cause us to do? What is it calling us to become? How is it enabling us to love even further? It does not end in worshiping the Eucharist. It begins with worshiping the Eucharist, so that the Eucharist can transform who we're becoming, and we can begin to do the cleansing inside. Going to Mass is the idea of cleansing and enabling us to cleanse who we are. All the things we do at Mass, the whole process is the process of cleansing and healing who we are becoming. It is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of the road, the cleansing of our hearts. That way, every day, we can say to ourselves, Lord, what are we going to do today?